And hello, good morning. How are you today? I'm so excited. I have a special guest with me, and she is all about gut health and brain health. We know how important the gut is for our overall health, and my special guest is going to explain that in much better way than I can ever explain it. So I'm really excited to bring her on. So if you're joining me live, please say hello and let me know where you're coming from, because it's so interesting to see where everyone is from all over this world, and especially on the replay too. So if we haven't met before, my name's Olive Dodd. It's down over, oops, it's reversed here, down there. And I'm all about health and wellness, and I just love talking about health. So I'm really excited to bring on my guest today. So without further ado, let's bring her on. And I'm proud to introduce Melissa, and she is all about better brain and gut health with longevity is what her website says. And so she can do a much better introduction of herself than I can. So take it away, Melissa.
Thanks so much for having me, Olive. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk with you this morning. So yes, I'm an integrative health practitioner, excuse me. And what I do is I help people discover the root cause of their health struggle and use the power of functional medicine labs to see what's truly going on inside their body so that we know what it is that's happening to them. Then I can create a personalized wellness protocol to help bring their body back into balance, at which point it heals itself, which is designed to do. It heals a broken arm, it heals a cut finger. But in this day and age, we tend to get too far off kilter, and then the body struggles to come back into balance on its own. Why is that? Well, we are inundated with toxins in our world, and the world is the sickest it's ever been with, chronic illness, diabetes, heart disease, leaky gut, autoimmune diseases, Alzheimer's, dementia. And as you say, so much of that is starting in our gut. What I actually love is that Hippocrates said way, way back that all disease starts in the gut. And we now have come full circle to realize that that is actually true to this day. And yet we haven't been taught how to optimize our health, optimize our sleep, really understand what living in chronic stress is doing to our health. And so in my work, that's what I help people with, and to discover and to bring their body back into balance.
So I love that you're an integrative health practitioner. And so what I see is that it's a combination of the science and natural remedies, because we love natural remedies, and just to combine a little bit of science in there, it just means that there is more integrity behind it, more science, and just more research. And it just sounds like such a great combination. So, what exactly, how can people really make a significant impact on their health, using your services, your practice, your ideas?
Well, you're right. Bringing that science together and understanding what's going on for you is incredibly helpful, because then we can truly help you, right? We like to say, stop guessing, start testing. When we test, we have the answers and we know what's going on. And that allows for true healing, which is what everybody wants. And so when people work with me, I always start off with helping them discover their toxic load, because that's important in this day and age. And we remove the toxins to open up the pathways, help the liver and kidneys start functioning properly again and be better able to remove toxins. And once those pathways are opened up and we have results from lab tests, then any protocol we do is going to be far more effective. And when people see the lab test results, it's really an aha moment for most people, as well as incredibly empowering, because now they have a choice. They know what's going on, and they have a choice to step into that healing journey. And it's interesting because, yes, there's change required, and a lot of us don't like to change, and it's hard to change the way we eat. But the great news is the healing journey isn't that long compared to however long many people have been suffering. So many of the protocols are anywhere from 12 to 24 weeks, which in the grand scheme of the suffering that's been going on is a relatively short amount of time. And even better news is that as soon as we start the detox program, people are starting to feel significantly better. And that motivates them to keep doing what they're doing because they know they're feeling better, they know they're on the right path, and they like how they're starting to feel. So that helps them stick the course of any program that they're working on with me. And it's they didn't just wake up with a chronic illness. It's been brewing in their body for a long time. They might have had, some pain or noticing symptoms for 3 months, 6 months, a year, but it's been happening even before that.
Yeah.
And I love to say to people to listen when your body whispers so it doesn't have to yell at you. In other words, when you notice those first symptoms, don't just push through. Don't ignore them because the body will keep talking to you and it will start yelling at you. And if it's yelling at you, it's going to take longer to heal from than if you react to something when it's only whispering at you.
Right. It's already too late. Yes. Yes. I know I have a few body parts that are yelling at me. So I've started your 21-day detox, and I'm excited for it because I've had food sensitivities for quite some time. Well, no, actually, they just came on in the last year or so. So probably my body's been whispering to me and I haven't been paying attention. So I'm going ahead with the 21-day detox. And so I've started it, and it's really quite easy. The first couple of days were a little bit, challenging, but I'm well on my way now. And so I'm excited for the results and, maybe helping some of my food sensitivities. Yeah.
And absolutely, it will help food sensitivities because we get to a tipping point in terms of the health inside our body, which we're not fully aware of because we can't see, of course, right? And so getting, as our liver and kidneys get bogged down, as our gut health is just deteriorating slowly over time, our body is less able to cope with the foods that we're putting in than it used to be able to. So there might be food sensitivities that you've had for a long time. And then now, because your gut is unhealthy, there's more food sensitivities that are cropping up because your body's just saying, I can't cope anymore. I can't do this. And so doing the detox is awesome because you're helping clean all of this out and just giving your whole body a refresh. And then as we heal your gut, many of those food sensitivities will go away.
And I think that, I live a pretty healthy lifestyle. I live in, a small country town, and, my house is clean. I have no toxins. I use, natural remedy cleaners and things like that. But I'm still pulling in toxins, whether, I like it or not. And so I love your analogy of the trash can. So maybe you could share that.
Yes, so I do love to ask people, are your trash cans overflowing? And I'm not talking about the ones we put out on the street. I'm talking about your liver and kidneys. And a lifetime of eating and toxins coming in through our food, through our airways, our waterways, just building up inside our body to the point where they're like, our liver and kidneys are like trash cans overflowing, and it's coming in and just pouring down the sides. And then if you leave your trash out on the street for too long, what happens? It starts to smell and rot and attract, flies, etc. And that's what's happening inside your body, but you're not aware because you can't see it. And so that's why we need to get those trash cans emptied. And that's what a really good functional medicine detox will do. And we actually empty them and give your body that reset. And as a result, any protocol that you do after that for true gut healing is going to be far more effective, because any supplements you're using are not going in and just spilling off the top. They're actually getting into the cells that need them in order to heal.
Oh, I'm really excited for what I'm going to feel like, after this, because I feel pretty good now. But if I can feel even better and more energy, then I'm really excited for that. And so we all know that there's a real connection between the gut and the brain. And so can you give us a little bit of insight into that?
Yes, so our gut and brain are connected through the vagus nerve, which is a nerve that starts at the base of the brain and kind of weaves around our organs down to our gut. And it's interesting because we all know about the brain in our head, but we don't necessarily know that our gut is known now as our second brain. This is really new science. And for every message that our brain sends down to our gut is sending 9 messages back up to our brain. And so I now think of it as the gut is the command center, and my brain is the operation center that is making things happen based on what my gut is telling it. And if people stop and think about it, if you have a headache, how do you feel in your gut? Or if you have a stomach ache, how do you feel in your head? When you stop and think about it, when one isn't feeling great, neither is the other one. And in this day and age with poor sleep and high stress, negatively impacting our health, and a lot of people falling into that bucket, brain fog and fatigue in our brain is often triggered by imbalance in our gut.
Wow. That makes so much sense. Wow, that's quite enlightening. I've never really thought about that, it is true that when your stomach feels bad, you don't feel so well, but I'll have to pay more attention to kind of like what's happening back and forth. So, wow,
It's true. And like I said, it's very new science. Like all of the science around the microbiome is really new in the last 5 to 7 years. And so it's not coming out through mainstream. It's not being taught in, high schools and through our public health, etc. So people don't know. And that's part of what I do in my work is there's a very large education piece. I want people to understand can be so empowered in their health when they have this knowledge. And so when people work with me, they go away with this knowledge that they have for the rest of their life, for themselves and for their family, in order to be able to continue to optimize their health.
And part of the detox is that there's a course per se, and the doctor that has, given you all the information or the detox material, it's interesting that his history, he keeps kind of changing things to adapt to modern times, taking some, Ayurvedic, ancient wisdom and changing it to certain times. So it's always evolving as things improve or better ideas. He also improves things. So I love that idea too.
I love that too. And so he's the doctor that taught and created the Integrative Health Practitioner training and certification that I've completed. And his story is he was very, very ill with a number of autoimmune diseases and illnesses in his late teens through his 20s. And mainstream medicine just told him, well, you're always going to have this disease and you're always going to have that disease and you always have to be on this drug and that drug and you're never going to get better. And he didn't want to accept that. And so he set out to figure out, okay, which medicine in the world is the best? Is it traditional Chinese medicine? Is it Ayurvedic medicine? Is it Western medicine, which he didn't think at the time because it felt like it was failing him, etc. And, is it orthomolecular medicine, which is kind of the science of supplementation and herbal remedies, etc. And through all of his studies and, practicing in China and India, or learning, I should say, in China and India, he has come to discover that every single piece of all these different types of medicine has really great effect. And so he does blend them all into his program and then all of our integrative health practitioner training. So we're drawing on the best of the best from each in order to help people truly heal. There's no one medicine that wins, is what his ultimate understanding was.
I love that, because you get confused as to, which is good, and there's just so many ideas out there. And so I love the fact that, it's integrated. So
absolutely.
Perfect title, and to know, okay, well, what is being integrated?
Exactly. And I love working with him as part of, his group of integrative health practitioners, because his practice got so busy, he couldn't clone himself, right? And so what he did was create this training. And through his practice in Boston, he's worked with over 250,000 clients, and he creates protocols only after they're effective on 999 out of 1,000 people. And that one person that it didn't work for either didn't follow the protocol properly, or maybe they just needed that little bit of extra time. But his protocols work. And where he couldn't find the exact, supplement already available, then he created what would work based on his knowledge of all of these different medicines. If it was already available, then he uses the one that's already available. And then we practitioners have access to all of these protocols. So if we have someone coming along and their lab tests, show bacterial overgrowth, then we know exactly what protocol is going to work to help that person bring their gut back into balance.
I love that. That sounds so great. And the fact that you're doing lab testing, so you're not just going on symptoms, but you actually have some science behind that, some testing. And so it sounds amazing. So I can't wait to get further and further into it.
Yeah, well, I absolutely love this work and look forward to continuing guiding you through your detox.
Yeah.
And what I also love is in this work and in this day and age, I'm able to offer my work 100% virtual. I do all my sessions over Zoom, and the lab tests get mailed to your home. So very COVID friendly, but just the convenience of that. You don't have to go to a clinic and make an appointment, et cetera, et cetera. It gets mailed to your home with all the instructions, little videos on how to take do the lab. Could be urine, could be saliva, could be a little blood spot where you prick your finger, or a hair clipping from the back of your neck, depending which lab it is that you're doing.
Sounds so easy and huge results, huge results.
Absolutely, yes.
Wow. Well, this has just been like amazing. I am so excited, for my journey. And so I'd love to give folks, more information on how they can get hold of you so that they too might be able to kind of dive into this journey and really, really benefit from it. So how can they get hold of you, and tell us a little bit about, what's involved or just what to do, how to start?
Sure. So starting is super easy. My website is betterbrainhealth.info, and just go to the Work With Me tab at the top and click that, and you can book a complimentary 30-minute consult so that I can have great understanding around what's going on for you and what you're trying to achieve. And we have an opportunity to discuss what your next best steps are, because of course they're, slightly different for everyone.
Awesome. Okay, and so the website is on the screen below. So feel free to get hold of Melissa. She'd love to hear from you, and I can't recommend her enough. I'm certainly going to be seeing a lot more of you.
Well, thank you so much, Olive, for having me. I love working with you, and wishing everyone out there a wonderful Friday and weekend.
All right. All right. Well, thanks everybody for joining, and be sure to get hold of Melissa at your own time. And I look forward to seeing you again next time. Okay. Bye for now.
Bye.